Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, you know, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, you know. My managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just like, you know, having so much time invested into this, you know, and I am a smart guy, I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, you know. I find myself in
In the opening moments, we see a man standing before the judge, voice shaking as he accepts full responsibility. He apologizes to his mother, his family, his kids, everyone touched by his mistakes. You can feel the weight on him. He's not making excuses. He's admitting he lost control of his life. Question for viewers. If you were the judge, does this apology sound sincere to you?
a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, you know, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and it don't really have to have nothing to do with you, but it could end bad and it could, you know, fall on you. And I know the choice is yours, it's up to you, and I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never.
He talks about how being too nice and too cool pulled him into trouble. This is a powerful moment. He acknowledges how fame changes everything. One wrong friend, one wrong choice, and suddenly the consequences fall on him. He begs to go home and promises the court this will never happen again. Do you think being a celebrity makes life harder or easier when facing the law?
Never see you again unless it's at a, you know, bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. You know, I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved on both sides, you know. I'm sorry to the sheriff, you know, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid
He
more
becomes
money, but
emotional,
I'm sorry for
thanking
y'all.
the judge for being fair over the last 2.5 years. That's rare. Someone praising the judge during sentencing? He even apologizes to the sheriff's office for the work his case created. This is humility on display, something many defendants never show. Does this kind of honesty make you believe someone deserves the second chance?
I'm gonna put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, you know, and I just hope that you find it in your heart to allow me to go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, you know, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late, and maybe it was because I was, you know, probably on drugs or anything, I don't know, but I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy, you know. I don't mind doing stuff like, you know, like free shows, and I always did that, you know. I did free shows and gave it to.
Next, he talks about his impact in the community. Free shows, charity donations, millions given away. He reminds the court he isn't just a rapper. He's someone who has helped people, especially single parents and cancer organizations. It's a clear attempt to show the judge he's more than the mistakes he made. Should a person's good deeds matter in court, or should the law be the same for everyone?
Single parents, millions of dollars. You know, I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity. And I did like 2 or 3 shows that made like $700,000 a piece, and I gave it to the breast cancer organization. Like, you know, I do things. Like, I put millions of dollars back into my community for real. I really did. I did more than anybody ever did from my side, you know? But I understand, you know, rap lyrics. I understand how it could be twisted. I understand what it could do to the mind of people. I understand all that, and I promise you I'm 100% changing that. You know, it's just, I'm older, I'm grown now, you know, and it's just like, I'm smarter. It's more things to rap about. Like, I've experienced a lot of good things. I experienced more bad things, but I experienced a lot of good things too. And anyway, I can go forever.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate that you do realize how much of an impact.
He admits rap lyrics can be twisted, misunderstood, and even dangerous. This is a huge moment, a public figure confessing their influence on young minds. He says he's older now, smarter, and ready to change the message he puts into the world. Do you think artists should be responsible for how their lyrics influence kids?
Impact you have on people. I mean, it's past your neighborhood. It's worldwide, especially young people. And having come up from where you came up from and living in and around that, you know that gangs are damaging to our community. And it may be that a whole lot of rap music and the rap industry is, I mean, honestly, it sounds like a modern day version of kind of WWE wrestling that used to be on television, where people would just get up and posture and act like they hated each other. And it may be that that's a lot of what is going on in the music industry with rap. But whether it is fake or not, it has tremendous impact on kids and young people who think this is cool, this is what I.
The judge finally speaks, and she doesn't hold back. She compares rap beefs to WWE wrestling. Lots of performance, lots of pretending, but the danger becomes very real. Kids see rappers bragging about violence and think it's the path to success. The judge makes it clear. Most real gangsters don't get rich. They get killed or locked up. This is the hard truth many young fans need to hear.
I want to do, look at him, he's a millionaire. I can do that by being, you know, a gangster in the streets. And that's not true. What you're likely to have happen to you if you're a gangster in the streets is you get shot, you get killed, or you get thrown in prison. And those are, you know, by far the most likely outcomes. And, you know, you've been in here watching the trial, and you've seen the pictures of Mr. Ryan posing with a gun as big as he is at 15 years old and going out and shooting and killing another teenager. And that's what gangs do.
She describes photos of a 15-year-old with a massive gun, a teenager who later shot and killed another teenager. The room feels heavy. She directly links this tragedy to gang culture and the parts of rap music that glorify it. She wants them to break the cycle, not feed it. Do you agree with the judge? Does rap culture influence real violence?
And that's unfortunately a lot of what rap music does. And if you are a modern day John Lennon, you know, I mean, he might have rapped too in this day and age. I don't know, but I know you're talented, and even if you choose to continue to rap, you need to try to use your influence to let kids know that that is not the way to go, and that there are ways out of poverty besides hooking up with the powerful guy at the end of the street selling drugs. And, you know, I know that happens for protection sometimes, but a much better way would be getting an education and setting, you know, hanging around with people who set a good example. And you be one of those people that sets a good example. I mean, All right, so that's my high horse on that. I could also go on. But I want you to try to be more of the solution and less of the problem. All right?
The judge turns encouraging. She calls him talented, someone who could be a modern-day John Lennon. She urges him to become part of the solution, use his platform to guide young people toward education, purpose, and better choices. This is more than sentencing. It's a challenge to change a generation. If he changes his message, do you think the industry will follow?
All right, so it is not lost on the court that the state, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. Williams, if on the streets, would be a danger to society. I'm taking that into consideration in crafting my sentence.
Now the judge shifts to the legal facts. She notes the prosecution was even willing to drop major charges, including the RICO count and a machine gun charge, if a deal had been reached. That tells the court something important. They didn't see him as a violent threat to society. This point heavily influences her upcoming decision.
And in permitting a nolo plea to the RICO count and one of the two gang counts, I would not be permitting the nolo to the one if you were not pleading guilty to at least one of them. But you are, and y'all admit a factual basis for the counts that you are pleading guilty to. I find there to be a factual basis for those counts, and for the remaining counts with which you are charged. I am going to impose a sentence, and I've taken a little bit of the suggested special conditions from the defense and a little bit of the special conditions suggested by the prosecution. On count one, the court sentence.
After summarizing the agreements and reviewing the factual basis, the judge finally moves into sentencing. She combines conditions from both sides and announces the key term, 20 years with 5 years to serve. The courtroom holds its breath. The long emotional speech, the years of waiting, the warnings from the judge, it all leads to this moment.
Is 20 years to serve 5.
Final professional overview. This hearing shows the complicated reality of fame, influence, and responsibility. The defendant admits guilt, expresses deep remorse, and highlights his contributions to the community. The judge acknowledges his talent and impact, but also emphasizes the very real dangers of gang culture and lyrical influence. Ultimately, the court balances accountability with opportunity, giving a structured sentence, but also encouraging personal transformation. If you found this courtroom breakdown powerful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real case commentary, emotional moments, and deep dive legal stories. Tell us in the comments, did the judge make the right decision?